So this one is about a very influential person who really took network science to a whole nother level and deepened the understanding of what it is. The guy's name is, now Stanley Milgram was on the East Coast, and what he wanted to do was to see how network science worked and seeing how close were people related. They call it technically the small world phenomena, but what he was thinking about was, how can I test this and see, what is the relationship between people and how far apart are we? So he came up with this rather novel idea. He took Wichita, Kansas, and then it's someplace in Nebraska. I think it was Omaha, and in there he felt that those two places were probably as far away, both politically and socially and economically, from the East Coast and the West Coast. So the coast being what he would call more liberal, and the center of this country, which is still true, much more conservative. So what he did, he took and created a letter, and he made a target of somebody in Boston, Massachusetts, who happened to be a wife of a person who was going to divinity school, studying to be a minister at Harvard. So what basically the target was to get to her. So he handed out, I believe it was 160 envelopes. And in the envelope, he explained what he was trying to do. And he said that if you know this person directly, please forward it to him. If you don't know this person directly, I'd like you to forward it to somebody who knows that who might know, that you don't know if they know him or not, but might know, but it has to be somebody that you know by their first name. You can't just pick somebody that you don't know. So you got to know them by their first name. And then you've got to send it to that person. Now, there's a whole bunch of things he sent with postcards, et cetera, to keep track of this. But what was amazing was, of those 160 letters, 42 of them got to the wife of the minister at Harvard. Okay, so you understand, he then took those that got there, and he started to see how one related to the other, and what happened was, he came up with basically that in between there was basically 5 different, what we call nodes. Now, okay, these were people, place, or thing, or nodes, 5 in between, and so that was the average. So this average then became, if you take the 6th one, you start to get this idea of 6. That was what he came up with on average. So they call 6 degrees of separation, or 6 degrees to get to the lady. These were sent to these people arbitrarily. He didn't know them, in Omaha and Kansas, and they got to the person. At least 42 of the 160 got to them within 6 degrees. So that then comes along. They call it the degrees of separation. So I think you probably heard the concept of 6 degrees of separation. And that means that people are only about 5 people in between you and everybody else, at least in the United States. Now, this was shocking because it becomes how closely connected people are, and they call the small world phenomena, that you can get together. Now, as you might expect with the internet, this is shrinking, and it's, instead of being 6 degrees now, it's around 5. It's now 5, and 5 degrees, not 6. And so we're getting that way. And then if you look at the thousand presidents, not presidents, you take the board of directors, is what I meant, of the 1,000 largest corporations in the United States. And what is their separation? Well, their separation is 4.7. And so they're even closer. And then if you take a group that's very large, but still not everybody, take Facebook. Okay, now Facebook, as of, is now down to, if you just take Facebook, 3.6 degrees of separation. So what's happening is people are getting more and more connected. What does that mean to you? That means that you can't screw around. You've got to stay with your now this is integrity. It's not very well seen here, but basically the idea here is you can't break your integrity, because when you get down to 3.6 degrees or even to 5, it's going to get out. So you have to now understand that the new aesthetic on the planet now is integrity. You cannot screw it up, because if you screw it up, you break your. Two things happen. One is you're going to be found out, and two is you're going to break your network. And the bigger your network, the more powerful your potential to have influence. So the idea here is the new aesthetic is integrity, and it requires you to think in terms of degrees of separation and how people get to know each other. And where it used to be the golden rule to do unto others as you wish they did unto you, it's now a requirement to succeed, because as soon as you break your integrity, it's out word of mouth and it's over. So you don't have a choice anymore. Anytime you want to cheat, anytime you want to do something that's win-lose, it's going to come back and hurt you because of this. The degrees of separation, and they're getting smaller. I learned from Bucky a long time ago that the bigger the picture, the more accurate your prediction. There's nothing in a caterpillar, if you just study a caterpillar, will ever tell you about scenario butterfly. So my entire life, I am working as much as I can to be a comprehensivist. That is interested in everything, so I can make better choices, better decisions, and have a better perspective. What can I do for you?